Learn English while gaining valuable knowledge. Lesson 1. Smartphone Camera Basics. Hi everyone. Welcome to the video series, Learn English while gaining valuable knowledge. In this series, you'll improve your English and learn valuable knowledge at the same time. This is the first lesson, and the lesson's theme is your smartphone's camera. You'll learn English while discovering useful tips about your smartphone's camera. I hope you find this lesson both fun and helpful. The text on the screen matches what you hear. If you don't quite get my explanations the first time, don't worry. You'll gradually grasp the concepts more clearly by watching this video repeatedly. First, this lesson will help you improve your listening and reading proficiency. We suggest you watch and listen to the video all the way through first to get a good grasp of the content. Then, on your second or later viewings, you can go through the material at your own pace, focusing on any challenging parts. When you come across a word or phrase you're unsure about, take a moment to look it up. Consider starting your own English journal, where you can write down new vocabulary, their meanings, and sample sentences, preferably using your Note app. This method will help you reinforce what you've learned and serve as a valuable reference for future study. In our series, alongside improving your English, you'll learn valuable tips for using your smartphone's camera. Pay close attention to how we explain features like focusing, adjusting exposure, and using portrait or HDR modes. These tips will help you make the most of your smartphone camera in everyday life. Now, let's begin Lesson 1. Our first lesson is about a famous quote. As you may know, a quote is a person's wise or meaningful words, often used to share well-known expressions or sayings. Perhaps you have heard the quote, "Kill two birds with one stone." This means accomplishing two things at the same time. And that's precisely what we're doing here. You'll improve your English skills while learning something valuable about smartphone photography. Now, let me give you another quote. A picture is worth 1,000 words. What do you think about this quote? Think of the moment when you visited Grand Canyon National Park and saw the canyon for the first time. How would you describe the view you saw at that time? I might write something like this. The canyon is vast and breathtaking, with rock layers that stretch endlessly into the horizon. I was absolutely impressed by the sheer scale and depth. The towering cliffs and deep ravines seem to go on forever, making me both amazed and humbled by the natural beauty surrounding me. These are the pictures of the Grand Canyon. What do you think? Is a picture really worth 1,000 words? You may now see the quote in a different light. However, do you agree that the picture has to be well taken? Now, I have more questions for you. How often do you use your smartphone as a camera? And how familiar are you with its camera features? Your smartphone allows you to capture not only photos but also videos. Do you take videos with your smartphone? Before we begin talking about your smartphone's camera features, let's take a quick lesson on asking questions in English, also known as forming interrogative sentences. In English, we often start a question with a word like how, what, where, or why. For example, how often do you use your smartphone as a camera? Or, what do you think of this quote? These are simple interrogative sentences that you could use when asking questions. We can also form questions by reversing the word order, like in, do you take videos with your smartphone? Notice how we start with do to turn it into a question. Do you have any questions? If not, are you ready to learn how to take great photographs? Do you recall the quote, "Kill two birds with one stone"? The smartphone is a perfect example of that. In fact, it goes beyond that. Your smartphone functions as a phone, a camera, a browser, and much more, all in one. With improved internet accessibility and speeds, people can instantly send the photos and videos they capture on their smartphones to friends, or upload them to social media platforms like Instagram and YouTube. Understanding your smartphone's camera features can significantly improve the quality of the images you capture, making your photos and videos truly worth 1,000 words. That said, the quality of your photos and videos also depends on the camera's capabilities or specifications and the photographer's skills. Speaking of specifications or specs, you should know a few critical factors about your smartphone's camera. These include megapixels, which determine the resolution or sharpness of your photos, and the aperture, which affects how much light enters the lens. The quality of the lens plays a significant role in this. Another key specification is the sensor size. While smartphones tend to have smaller sensors than professional cameras, advancements in software and features like HDR and night mode help improve image quality despite this limitation. ISO, which controls the sensor's sensitivity to light, is also critical. Higher ISO settings allow brighter images in low-light situations but can introduce noise. Smartphone cameras balance this with advanced software, reducing noise while maintaining quality. This feature is handy when taking photos in the evening or at night. With the right balance of ISO settings and software enhancements, your smartphone can capture vibrant images without excessive grain or blur. Meanwhile, optical zoom capability, often influenced by the number of lenses on your smartphone, is another critical factor to consider. Smartphones like the iPhone 16 Pro have more advanced camera features, with lenses that capture clearer and brighter images, especially in low-light settings. On the other hand, budget smartphones might have fewer lenses and let in less light, which can affect photo quality. Now, let's dive a little deeper into the specifics. For example, a high-end smartphone like the iPhone 16 Pro comes with 3 lenses: a 48 megapixels main camera with a bright f1.6 aperture, which allows more light into the sensor for clearer and brighter photos, especially in low light conditions. It also has a 12 megapixels telephoto lens for zooming and a 48 megapixels ultra-wide lens to capture more of the scene. The iPhone 16 Pro includes advanced features like HDR and night mode to improve photo quality in various lighting conditions. In contrast, a typical budget smartphone might only have 1 or 2 lenses, such as a 13 megapixels main camera with an f2.2 aperture. This smaller aperture lets in less light, making capturing bright, detailed photos in low-light situations harder. The difference between f1.6 and f2.2 is important because a lower f number, like f1.6, allows 89% more light to reach the sensor, improving image quality, especially when lighting isn't ideal. Budget phones also tend to lack telephoto or ultra-wide options, and their software features, like HDR, are often more limited. Do you know the iPhone 16 Pro is nearly 38% or $300 more expensive than the basic iPhone 16? Why do many consumers still opt for the Pro model despite the higher price? The answer lies in the camera specs. While the iPhone 16 has a double lens system, the iPhone 16 Pro offers a triple lens setup, a 48 megapixels wide camera with an f1.6 aperture, versus the iPhone 16's f1.78, a telephoto lens, and an ultra-wide lens. This triple lens system offers better versatility and performance, especially in low-light conditions. Regarding skills, one of the most important features to understand is the focus. On most smartphones, simply tapping on the screen lets you focus on the subject you want to highlight, making it sharper and more defined. If you use the wide lens on your smartphone, you can capture more of the landscape or scene in one shot. By controlling the framing, you can decide how to position elements within the photo to draw attention to the most important parts and create a more balanced composition. On the other hand, if you're using portrait mode, the focus shifts to the subject, while the background is blurred. This effect, combined with proper framing, helps your subject stand out more clearly, giving your photo a professional look. Another helpful feature is the exposure control, which lets you adjust the brightness of your photos. Depending on the lighting conditions, you can slide a bar up or down to lighten or darken your image. In addition, you should also become familiar with HDR, high dynamic range, which helps capture more detail in both the darkest and brightest parts of your photo. This feature is handy in high-contrast scenes, like photographing a sunset or shooting in a backlight. These are just a few key features that can dramatically enhance the quality of your photos. Smartphones are not only great for capturing photos but also for shooting high-quality videos. Many people move the camera from right to left or up and down while shooting, but you'll often get better results by minimizing camera movement. Keep the camera stable, and if you need to change angles, do so slowly and smoothly for a more professional look. Also, a popular feature you may want to know about is slow motion, which allows you to record at a higher frame rate and play the video back in slow motion, capturing details you might miss at regular speed. On the other hand, the time-lapse feature does the opposite by speeding up long events, such as a sunset or city traffic, into a short, condensed video. And if you're shooting a video in low light, check out your phone's night mode for more explicit, brighter results. While high-end cameras offer advanced features and superior image quality, budget smartphones perform well if used wisely and with an understanding of their limitations. Even the best cameras won't give good results if used poorly. It's all about how you use your tools, whether it's language or a camera. Now that you've learned about smartphones, it's time to put your new knowledge to the test. Take a photo using the camera modes and techniques we've discussed. Let's see how well you did while learning English and gaining valuable knowledge. Remember, the more you listen, read, and think in English, the better you'll become. The same goes for using your smartphone camera. The more you practice, the better your photos will be. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. See you in the next lesson.